the table.
Hi.
It's going to be back here again for episode 25.
Okay.
Quarter of 100. That feels almost worth something eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It's cool. Yeah, it's quarter doesn't work mathematically. So, before we get into tonight's episode, the announcement that I have right now is that by the time this episode posts, it will be in the last days to enter for the coffee giveaway.
Nice.
Coffee painting giveaway, which ends on June 1st. So head to both Twitter and YouTube for 2 different ways to enter, 2 different pieces to win. That is the only announcement, so we'll head into a recap.
Wait, I have an important question about the giveaway.
Yeah.
1, can we enter?
I second that question.
I will be okay with players entering the giveaway.
2, do you have to have a Twitter?
You do.
You have to have a Twitter?
I take my question
For the
back.
Twitter one.
Okay.
Or the YouTube one is completely separate.
The YouTube one, you can have a YouTube.
Yes.
You can have a YouTube.
Okay.
If you have both a YouTube and a Twitter, you can enter 2 separate giveaways.
How do you enter? Remind us.
Yeah, let's do that too.
Sorry.
Joey's like, if you haven't figured it out by now. No. On Twitter, there is one particular tweet that is pinned to the profile that if you retweet it, if you follow us, and that is it, I think.
Retweet and follow.
Retweet
And
yeah, subscribe to it and retweet it, and like the tweet itself. Then you're good to go. And one random person will be selected from the people who do that. Then there's also one particular YouTube video that is the official giveaway video. It has more details and more of an overview of what the actual pieces look like. But if you go to that video and if you subscribe to us and comment on that video, you are also entered to win that.
Nice.
Yes. So go do those things.
You do have to own a Twitter.
Yeah, that's for the Twitter one.
No,
Yeah,
only Elon Musk owns Twitter.
Yeah, if you pay like what, $50 billion, you could potentially win one of these.
Potentially.
48 billion. Come on. It's not 50.
So to recap what was actually a rather dense episode when I looked back at it, Misery had a show that he showed up late to because he spent a good amount of time with the party walking through the city and making sure that Thule got to his home to see Misery's father, Worth. But in quickly leaving that situation, Thule and Misery both then went to Smash Pods, where Misery was able to play a song and join in, and then bumped elbows with a couple of the band members. Thule saved him a little bit of face with the group when talking to Mystique, and then also Yvonne just got kind of frustrated and left, but then so did they. But things seemed to be at least in some form of working relationship at the end of that. And Thule and Misery had a little bit of quality bonding time, while the rest of the party hung out in the gardens of Populous.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Having some good quiet time, some processing, some things have been going on, and just waiting to reconvene with the rest of the party before going to sleep at old Grenjan's place, where everyone brought their cots and rolled them out by a fireplace that was re-stoked by Lorelith. And she also warned Grenjan that everyone was going to be there when he woke up in the morning. Mm-hmm. And so they had some quick snacks and breakfast before running off to the Brass Star. And so heading over to the Brass Star, they learn more also about Thelen and some of his travels, kind of in that overnight, and then met up with Fairgrant finally to learn some more information about Pilgrim and an ally of theirs, and that Rickeldar had laid out some form of deal with Fairgrant that had worked out in y'all's absence while you were gone. And Fairgrant let you know that there's also a 500 gold credit for the Brass Star in y'all's name as part of the deal too. So then Thule and Pilgrim laid out every possession and thing that y'all had, knowing that some of that is still owed to Rickeldar, but with that 500 golden credit plus the gold bar and silver bars and magical items that you all had scavenged from the lab. You now sit at the Brass Star. Fairgrant had just listed out. We have the Bracelets of Archery, these boots of elven kind, a cloak of protection, this globe that provides light and can hover around you, gloves of swimming and climbing, and also a luckstone, as several items that are here and available to purchase. And also I can remind prices of those things too, but let's dive into the Brustar, Fairgrand is there, walking over with you all some of the options of things to buy, as you all are putting off the informational conversation until after this.
Didn't we leave off with him telling us that the stone wanted to talk to Nemo?
That was part of it, but after that, it was like he kind of got quiet and then continued to move on with the rest of the conversation. Misery had said, this is kind of boring. And Farragrand said, well then, yes, let's get through the business first. And then after we settle up the purchasing and gold and whatnot, then let's dive into some more of that. So this is the, I think, 6th morning of the campaign.
We are best friends.
It's almost been a week of y'all adventuring together, minus Cicero plus Stellan. And Stellan, you are experiencing a very powerful magic user who twisted the fabric of reality to then ship to this shop and then bring back these magical items in it. This party who's now rolling out all of this money and hearing that they also have a ton of money and credit at this shop, and feeling very thrown into the midst of a story that is 6 days old.
There we go.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's only been 6 days.
6 days.
How many eighths of a week is that?
Shut up.
7.
No.
7.
6 point something.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the money? Or do we
Yes.
want me to
I got a question about the money.
wait? When you say credit, is that like we have to pay it back?
There's an interest rate on it.
Yeah, what are those rates nowadays?
No. In the deal that we worked out, it's as if you have 500 gold that you've already paid me here at the shop. So have at it. You may just buy 500 gold worth of things.
Whoa.
So we're on credit for in Star Wars.
1/4 portion. Oh, that's a portion. Never mind. Forget.
Was there anything in particular here on my wall, an array of things that I just described and pointed out?
How much is one piece of paper?
Wow.
Magical paper.
Like, what level spell are you trying to?
I want to try and the critical orb. Not critical orb. The orb.
Chromatic orb?
Chromatic orb.
Chromatic orb. Okay.
Chromatic orb.
Critical orb.
Which is
You just got orb.
I need a diamond worth at least 50 GP.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you were looking to first purchase that diamond, is that something that you're willing to do?
Does Fairgrand have one?
He does. Yeah.
Interesting.
First purchase, worth burnus.
So he does sell all kinds of spell casting components and stuff like that. And so, yes, if you wanted to use some of the credit for that, 50 gold could be used for one of those diamonds. I can fork that over.
And then I think I'm out of paper.
You are out of paper.
So how much paper? This is Rachel talking about
Yes.
this. Do you want me to be
No, this is good.
Okay.
Just for the back of like another piece.
Yeah, right?
I've already
Or a
got,
receipt
like,
in your pocket.
multiple
Just
times.
have paper.
This is my magical receipt.
I'm going to pull that up again. I think I sent you a description of all of that at one point, but I think...
Oh, the chromatic orb.
No, just like the how much gold per spell level stuff. Okay, so...
Sorry, guys.
Then you'll have
Yeah, I'm
other
gonna run
stuff to
through
sell on
stuff, too.
top of that 500, right?
But some of
Yeah,
that has to go to
or-
Oracle Dar.
Yeah.
Like 25, 30%?
Something like that.
33 points.
I forget, considering how much time we spent on the contract.
Yeah. I had bars and blue liquid.
For each level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold worth of the pages. So this is a first level spell, is that correct? Chromatic orb?
Is it first level spell?
Okay, so you would need an additional 50 gold worth of magical papers and ink, and then also the 2 hours to copy it over into your spellbook.
So you're trying to use 100 gold worth of our 500?
For a level
Well,
1?
I'm gonna make the argument. Yes, I would like to do
Yes. Here's the thing, I don't really care about all the magic stuff, so
That's the thing.
Here's the other
items
thing.
wise.
Missouri, how many
Yeah.
times have I kicked butt with my magic? Except for that one time I died.
Right. Yeah. And I just use my abilities
She
instead
kind
of
of
like
helped you out
stuff.
at the bar, too.
Yeah,
So
I do owe you.
I didn't want to bring this up, Misery, but like, someone could have cast a stabilizing spell that one time.
Oh, yeah?
Listen, the rest of this campaign can be... Technically, I did give my life for you.
You're right. Okay, clean slate, clean magic paper.
You can have your magic.
Okay. Well,
I'm not going to buy anything.
Do you have any herbalism kits?
I don't tend to carry those.
Okay.
I have healing potions.
What are they made of?
Well, they. Joe just starts laughing immediately. There's some primary arcane liquids that have no substance to them yet, and then once I infuse them with the magic and I focus on them and imbue them with the healing capabilities over hours of time, they then develop the properties to heal. So in essence, it is simply magic in itself.
You can't make it.
That's what I want to know. I don't want it. Never mind. Tell me about that cloak, though.
This cloak of protection.
That's good.
So magically, when you wear it, things just hit you a little bit less likely to penetrate its defenses. And then also, as you react to the things about you, you just tend to be a little bit more hardier and prepared for all sorts of things that might be thrown your way. Mechanically, armor class goes up by 1, and all of your saving throws also go up by 1.
That's very good.
Very good, and I'd like to point out it's very good if you get attacked a lot.
Cost of this is 150 gold.
Wow.
Do you have more than one?
Ooh.
An additional one is almost complete, but not quite.
Okay.
If you were interested in a second one, we could finish that in maybe a day or two.
Okay.
The day is like 12 sessions.
I want that.
You want that?
I mean, you got plenty of gold for it.
I would like to exchange coin for this.
Okay.
Coin.
Any other pieces that we were interested in? I'll run through the list again. There's also the Bracelets of Archery. All arrow damage increases by 2. Boots of Elven Kind. Yeah, you can change things.
Okay. Also, I would say that you don't need the cloak because you don't get attacked too much.
Boots of Elven Kind. No matter who you are, you make no sound when you walk, and you get advantage on all stealth checks that require being heard. Yes. So if somebody's looking right at you and you're running at them, I would not give you advantage on that stealth check. But if it's purely on sound, there's a drift globe for 50 gold. It is a magical orb that you can adjust the level of light that it gives off, and it floats nearby you and can continue to illuminate stuff around you. Gloves of swimming and climbing. So with this, normally if you are swimming, you would move half your movement speed. So if your movement speed is 30 and you are doing something like in combat, your movement speed would only be 15. With these, anytime you're swimming or climbing, it is actually your full movement speed. And then also any athletics checks made to climb or swim get a +5 bonus to them. So very helpful for movement in water and climbing cliffs and stuff like that. There's also a luck stone for 150 gold, which just increases all skill checks +1, every single one of them. So those were just some of the items that were listed out. Also, there were healing potions, components, pages, inks, etc.
So luck stone different than ring of luck?
Probably just in the way that it's used or worn.
Okay. And it was just a +1 on
Yeah.
checks.
And you have 2 magical items. You have the silver and gold bars, which I don't know if y'all know the value of yet, and the 500 gold credit.
Are the items soulbound? So, could they pass around the cloak if they wanted to? If someone, say, got injured and needed the extra?
It would require attunement, so it requires an hour of holding on to it, so that it couldn't just be in the middle of combat.
Right.
Put this on real quick. And then but if you think about it, if you prepare, if you want to strategize, we're about to go into something, who would do best with this, you can change and adjust.
Can we ask Farrakhan how much the gold bars are worth? Does he know?
Sure, I can look over them real quick, and I will also look over my notes just to be sure that I remember.
Charge you.
4 silver bars and 2 gold bars.
Is this like the airport?
Money, please.
Yeah, how much do we have? And then how much do we need to give to Rickledar before we decide what we want?
We could just give none to Rickledar.
And skip town.
Give it to me.
Skip down.
Skip town! Oh, that's an interesting
Work
word, actually.
I'll steal it from
There
you.
you go.
Oh, we'll just give you all the credit? Yeah. No, that looks good. He did everything.
We have to provide Rickledar with a base cut of 40% from found coin, gems, enchanted items, weapons, and armor after we get him 100 gold worth of things, which isn't gonna take that long, honestly. That's when the rate for everything goes to 25%. So, like, my understanding is that the 40% goes to 25%. The we had like a 33% cut agreement with him that will go to 25. Basically, any other percentages go to 25, but right now it's 40% until we get him 100 gold worth of things.
Can we just give him 100 gold and call it a day?
This is my favorite part of D&D.
This is good. Yeah.
So these 4 bars of silver that you have are worth about 25 gold apiece. And then the 2 bars of gold are worth 50 gold apiece.
So, that's a
That's 200 gold.
You're smart.
plus the
300 total.
500 that we have.
Plus the blue liquid in the vial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Pilgrim was pretty out of it, and I would say that as the it's kind of like staring into the fire, but as the continued conversation about money and exchanging and stuff has gone on, I'm going to kind of dream, in an almost dream state, kind of like wander over back to the table and kind of like gesture at the blue liquid and be like, is this liquid of any sort of value? Do you know what its properties are?
Yes.
Strokes his goatee and pulls it down to a point, squints his eyes, ruffles down into a drawer behind the counter, pulls out this like long, almost like jeweler's monocle thing, looks over to the vial, holds it up to some of the torchlight in the far end, twists the little lens. I was just speaking to Lorelith about this is the foundational arcane fluid that can be used for things like alchemy and magical tinkering and tampering to give it fluid. This in itself is potential magical energy. Components used for creating potions, and in itself you could use this to create your own magical potions, or I would be willing to purchase it or use this to reduce the cost of purchasing a potion, because it would be part of what I would use to make it. Anything like that sounds of interest to the party.
Hearing that, I'll kind of look at Thule and gesture at it like, is this something that you could use for your magical purposes, or would it be better used as an item to be sold?
Dude's gonna say, what a great question. And that's it.
I think a good friend of mine would have used this very, very nicely, but he's not here.
This does seem right up Cicero's alley. However, he is off doing his thing. Living his truth in the mountains.
Dave, can I ask you a clarifying question?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm asking a lot of like detailed questions.
That's a good time for it.
So, last session you mentioned something about a polymorph
I did.
spell.
Yeah.
Is that something that I get, or is that what we found in those papers?
So it is in itself like a scroll that you could use to cast that spell. It is written in like a weird old dwarvish language.
So that's what Cicero and I found.
Yes.
Okay, that's not something my class gets.
Yet.
Okay.
Right. If you were to read it and study it, this would be just like the book that you got from the library, which is due tomorrow. You were able to copy spells from, and so even looking at it, like you could have this. If you used it, it would burn away. The one time use gone. But if you were able to spend some time reading through it and then copying it over, you would be able to add this spell to your spellbook. and use it functionally.
It's a 4th level spell?
Third.
3rd level spell. Can you tell me one more time how much paper I need? You said
50
2 hours.
50 gold per spell level. So a 3 would be 150 gold. A 1 is a 50 gold. I think for a 3rd level spell, it would cost you also 6 hours of chill time with that paper to copy it over.
Take out a student loan. Okay, and then last question. I got a spell a long time ago from Fairgrand, Refraction. Do you remember that?
Was it protection? Something like that.
I think it was called Refraction, but it was basically that you can shield your eyes. Do you remember what level that spell was? I think it was a homebrew spell that you made.
Give me 1 second.
That's what Fairgrand did to himself.
Yes.
Math.
Yeah, I would do first level on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can assist in creating that, making sure that that's. I forgot about that one. It was great.
So many spells.
Yeah.
Too many spells.
Too many spells.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're sitting on like 400 gold worth of spells that could be copied.
Well,
No, wait, I'm sorry. It's less than that. 250. Yeah.
no, because 300 because I need the diamond for chromatic orb.
Right. But just copying spells is 250.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Tuli did not ask that. Rachel was just calculating.
Mm-hmm.
Tuli would never.
Tuli would never. Rachel, however.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Tuli's gonna say all of that, and then she would say, how would you feel about me adding chromatic orb to my inventory for 100?
I already gave you all my gold.
What?
Because you were dead.
Yeah.
My share.
Oh.
I'm not getting anything. So.
Oh, thanks. But wait, what?
So if you want 100 gold.
Did you pay for the stone?
Huh? I didn't get anything.
You don't get any of this money that we're talking about?
What are you talking
I'm just not getting anything.
Oh, you don't want anything?
I don't want anything.
Oh, okay.
What?
I'm glad we sorted this out.
So.
I want the archery. So I'll take the archery thing, not the cloak.
Okay. Well, there's 150 gold.
Wow.
Are we doing the
What was
100?
100?
The diamond and the scroll, the paper? Or there's 250?
I was just assuming
You
everyone
have
gets an
200
equal
worth of
share
bars.
of the 500. Well, I guess we have 8.
So 700.
It would probably serve me well to have that little luck stone.
Yeah.
Because I keep bumbling all over the ding dang place.
So that's 133 each. Well, unless let's say we give 100 to Rickelgar. Right?
Hypothetically, we honor the contract.
Yeah.
The 2 gold bars would be that 100.
Okay, great. So let's set those aside.
So 700 divided by 6 is...
Lorelith?
How many 8s of 700 is 6?
I'm from the
Wait.
woods. I don't know.
From the woods, we don't believe in that.
Basically,
I don't believe in that.
It's like 116 a person.
great. And you just gave all yours to her.
Yeah.
So now she
She
has
died.
232.
I feel really bad.
You have $232.
Yay! Can I buy more spells? Unless someone else wants something big.
Misery's the nicest one in the room.
No, it's
No, we're
not.
gonna make you go first.
For that, Lorelith is buying something that's 150 gold. With
That's
her,
more than your share.
with her 116 gold.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Does everyone in the circle want something?
The circle.
The circle.
The circle, we're
Alert!
here. We're here.
Rachel, did you see the new season's out?
Is Thunlin inside with us? Or did you say?
Yeah, I would say that I'm
Yeah, why are we still getting cigarettes?
sitting off in the corner. Yeah, you don't need to split it. I would say Selen is kind of off to the side. Not too, I don't want to say materialistic, but not interested in the things. Doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything. And he saved some scraps from breakfast at, what was that guy's house name?
Grenjin.
Gringen's house. and he's just feeding crumbs to Oba and just kind of hanging out.
Great. Okay.
This isn't like 500 gold today only, right?
No.
Like we don't.
Yeah.
Please don't spend it all
Today.
Everybody nice.
But as of right now, that is 250 spent gold, and
That's for all of her stuff.
that is for the
Bracers?
gold, the archer, the bracers of archery, and the gold paper and ink, and the diamond.
Just for one spell, though, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, well,
Is it? I don't need the archery thing. I just thought that it would make sense.
I'm gonna say, well, seems like I have 2 more spells left. One of them is Polymorph, 3rd level, 150, and the other is Refraction to protect against the stone, 1st level, for 50. What do y'all think?
And that spell, just to go over that again, she would get the ability to give somebody an advantage on a saving throw, a particular saving throw she would get to pick. And that would last for 10 minutes. She could put that on to somebody and concentrate on that. And as long as she's able to concentrate on that, whoever she touched for that will have advantage on that type of saving throw.
But the second she loses concentration.
It would drop, yeah.
Okay.
That's refraction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems useful.
That doesn't seem like it's me.
What's the other one?
The other one
No
is
dandelion.
Polymorph.
Is that?
So, no damn it, but she doesn't seem like it.
Do I know what?
Dang!
Do we know what Polymorph is? Do I know what Polymorph is? We don't know what it is yet, do we?
You got the
Ooh.
basic essence of it from
Okay.
reading it, that it involves the actual changing of form of one actual being in front of you to completely different kind for a short period of time.
So picture that like Kraken thing, that fantasy Kraken thing,
What?
and picture it changed into like a sheep, and we're hitting it. That's kind of like what that spell is.
Would that thing be too big for that spell?
Oh, I'm sure there's
I
a
wonder what the size of the cast is.
Julie definitely knows the answer to that, and the answer would be
Oh, many things are susceptible to polymorph.
that it depends.
Yeah, Fairgrand chips in.
Yeah,
a very
do
fun
it.
spell indeed.
Get it.
Okay.
That one sounds
the
so
group agree?
fun.
Yeah, I mean, Pilgrim's not really here right now. I'm kind of out of it, so I'm not really.
So
Which is
another
enough for
150 gold for paper ink.
Julie says, I feel like I'm taking all the gold.
You died though.
While wearing a necklace and a ring.
Yeah, the
what?
ring. Oh, the ring like swirled, didn't it?
Did what?
I forgot. I thought the ring shattered and like was
I was gonna
useless, but it
say.
changed.
It reformed,
changed.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize.
Julie has like tiaras and like.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna buy?
How much do we have gold? How much do we have left?
Maybe we should get some healing potions.
That's not it.
No,
Remember how?
I'll make some.
She'll make some.
Oh, okay.
What's our remaining balance? Now that we've done the spells and the archery cloak and everything.
With the new paper and ink plus the old paper and ink is 200. Archery bracers another 150, and then the diamond. So that is at 400 gold. I think you had 700 to spend.
Yes.
300 left.
Is there?
Some of that
Is
needs
this
to go
just straight up regular magic store?
No.
Not just like
We didn't include the
Yes.
2 bars that go to
If you needed to
Rickle
go to a blacksmith, you could.
Right, we
But
saw
you
that.
don't know
We
which
took
blacksmith
100
is in
off
contract
those
yet.
bars
Oh,
to
never mind.
give it to Rickler.
Yeah.
Right.
But oh yeah,
It would have been
javelins are
800.
very cheap, by
Yes.
the way.
Yeah, whatever.
Does anyone else have negative stats? Thinking
No,
about
isn't that
utilitarian?
weird?
Just you.
Okay.
No, yeah, I have negative stats, but I'm not on the important things.
So I was gonna say, Pilgrim, should you get that ring?
The stone.
The Luckstone.
The stone?
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that
Fairgrand
might help you.
reaches down into an ornate wooden box with copperish scrolling around it. Pops that open, and there's a purple velvet lining, and he slides it over, and there is this translucent, very like periwinkle blue stone. Very easily sits in the hand, and then he reaches down into another drawer and pulls out a little pendant screw and attaches it. There's a nice chain to it. He lifts it up and says, yes, this is a Luckstone. If this is of interest to anyone as well.
A what?
The Luckstone.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of mention my name, Pilgrim. Kind of perks up a little bit and kind of walks over to the box. He kind of feels the purple velvet, and he looks at the stone, and then he pulls out his husk stone that he had around his neck and kind of like holds it, and kind of like sometimes like, this seems like it would be useful. If the party agrees, I might use some of our funds to acquire this stone. And have 2 stones around my neck.
Oh.
2 chains. 2 chains, as it were.
If you would like it affixed in some other way, I could put it into some form of leather band on the arm or leg or some other placement.
An anklet.
I would say as a wrist affixment would be nice.
We're not gonna cost extra money.
No, absolutely not. One moment, and then
Business
he attaches
person.
the necklace
Thanks,
to it,
Glenn.
and actually leaves the room for a bit, and then comes back with a strip of leather that has a little metal band around that he is able to then pull out some little fine tools, tie it open a bit, and then tinker it open, and then pulls out his wand, affixes it to it, and kind of solders it in.
And Pilgrim puts it on and gives money for it.
Great.
Wow.
Commerce.
So we have 150 left.
I would advise,
Save
too, from
it.
my meeting with Rickeldar, that if you do owe him some sort of funds from your expedition or, biological study, ecological study, that you would hold to whatever agreement you made.
So we set aside 100, right? Because we had 800.
Mm-hmm.
And we already said we're going to give him 100.
You got 250 total now.
It's not just the 100 though. He's supposed to get a 40% cut of everything that we find.
Sounds
That
good.
changes when we give him 100 gold worth of things. I don't know that those
Oh,
things
no.
are equivalent.
Oh gosh.
But it lowers, right? That's what happens.
Well, yeah,
We're
after
giving
we-
him 40%. Okay, so we have to give him 40% of the 800, which
Yes.
is a lot.
Well, the credits don't go towards that, do they?
Yeah, the credits don't
The
count.
credit
So
is
just
separate.
300.
It
The
was-
value of all our
Yeah.
stuff.
40% of 300.
But that includes the necklace, the ring, it's all
It's
things.
like 100.
Right, those have to be valued.
And that's over 100, so we already hit our little mark, too. Cool.
So should we say
No, we have to give him like 120 instead of
I think it's-
or whatever it is.
1, 2.
Do the math.
Well, they're saying, what's the value of the Necklace of the Shallows and the ring that I got and, the spells we found?
Oh, just don't say you didn't find them.
Julie's, covered. This is mine. It's all related.
I would give an appraisal of the fluid that Pilgrim had put forward to be 25, 30 gold.
We got it made in the shade.
I feel like maybe you might also be able to appraise these 3 other. How many things are you
Siligas.
wearing? Things. They're all magical. They're not just pretty.
Great. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and just given some time, you see, much like Martha had done, when she looked over the stone, his eyes flash over blue over each of these 2 pieces. His eyes go wild. He does the Necklace of the Shallows first, and he doesn't react so strongly, but then once he does the ring, very much grabs his attention. But easy business first. This anchor pendant, is that what we ended up establishing?
It's an anchor.
Refuse
The
to sink.
refuse to sink.
The anchored pendant. He holds up. This I would 75 gold would be my assessment of this.
Are you sure you don't mean 7 gold?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh.
I was kidding.
Make a persuasion
You don't want it to be 7.
Not that you actually would persuade him to think it's 7, but to get the gist of it would help
way
you.
less than
It would
75.
help you with Rickeldar. You
You
had
make less.
Right, we would have less to give to Rick.
Well, we have it
Or you
already.
would make less.
No, we have it already.
No, we
we
don't
want to tell
wanna-
Rickeldar that
we
it's
wanna
not worth
keep it.
anything,
No.
so we can pay him less.
Okay, you want to keep it. I thought you were trying to sell it.
This is a
No.
9.
okay.
Do I add
I mean,
anything?
that's
to it?
hilarious.
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
You mean 7?
It's a 9.
No.
Okay.
Anything?
You can see that he just kind of picks up on if he gave low appraisals, it would help you out, and he's just kind of like curious at the notion. He doesn't like respond or like push anything forward. This ring, however,
and just ignores it.
seems to be quite powerful, beyond even my means of understanding.
Probably priceless at that point.
I would actually
No
struggle
price.
to put any form of price onto
No
this
price.
ring. So,
basically 0.
Less of price.
Tully says, okay,
Negative
what
price.
if, hypothetically, it used to not be like this? Let's stick a pin in that. I want to come back to that priceless ring.
What if
It's
hypothetically
used, but what
it broke?
Have you ever heard of a thread weaver's ring?
Have you?
Because that's what it used to be.
no.
Build up.
This is all quite new to me. What I'm saying here.
It doesn't look like
But
anything to me.
The thread weaver. No, sorry.
I don't even know.
Okay.
Have you seen it do anything yet?
20 years.
I had the trouble getting a good read on what it was capable of.
Well, now that you mention it, I didn't bring this up because we just had a lot going on at the time. But do you guys remember? You probably have already forgotten, but do you remember when I died? I know it was a while ago, but okay. Well, when I died, I hate to break this to you guys, but apparently, like, the afterlife, it's super cold. There's a lot of snow. Anyway, I kind of woke up there, and there was a woman in front of me who I assume was like a goddess or something, but she told me that her name was Anivia, and she had like pale blue skin and white robes. And basically she said that she had a way for me to come back to the plane, which was, it doesn't matter. But she said that, this is the point, that currently all of the gods of Combus, which is, as we know, is this world that we're in, have an agreement not to meddle with humans or like be involved in their affairs and stuff like that. But they have this one little loophole where they can send people back if they're linked to another person's soul in the party. Anyway, doesn't matter, didn't end up happening. But she did say there's a time where gods will be needed, and because there's an agreement not to meddle, there's nothing they can do about it. But there is a way for mankind to break that seal and break that agreement and bring the gods back. So that's what Anivia had to say. I know, right?
You all find yourselves in the most curious situations.
So I know we're on this stone business. Maybe this is a quest for another time, if you will. But she seemed to think that we could potentially be involved in a future where we have a hand in restoring the gods' presence in the world so that they can thwart the looming evil that challenges mankind.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah. We were about to
So
buy
anyway.
a chocolate milk.
So anyway, then the ring changed.
Priceless, I would affirm.
I feel like we can't really know what the value of this was before it changed, so almost I feel like it's exempt from any kind of contract. That's what I would say.
Yeah, don't tell Urkeldar about that one then.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll talk to Rickledar.
Julie
not-
takes off and
and
puts
not
it in
talk
her
about
pocket.
Yeah. We'll not talk to Rickledar.
And if you ask, we'll kill him.
No.
And then we'll go on a quest to
bury his
save
body.
mankind
Oh.
from the gods.
With the gods.
With the gods?
No.
Cool. Well, once Pooper
I'm
got his cool
interested.
bracelet, he kind of is like looking at it, and he kind of absentmindedly walked over the fire, and now he's out of it. He's out of it again.
Okay.
I think we're done shopping.
I think very much as well. Maybe let's talk more about what you got into. yesterday. Okay. And as he looks really stiff and uncomfortable, he closes up his little logbook, dispenses the paper and bracers and bracelets, waves his wand, and the room shifts over to be more relaxing, comfortable, and now not anymore displaying any form of things for sale, but is now the symmetrical semicircle of seats around this fire. And he just looks over his shoulder and takes a long sigh and walks over towards the centermost seat across the fire, relaxes into it. Well done. What did we learn, and what is helpful? What can I provide?
It would seem that the stone in your possession is a dead end. I would like to have the stone back so that we might learn more about its connection to the laboratory in the woods. Because it seems like lots was going on in there, and these creatures were being kept. Someone or something performed a very sacred ritual to put the consciousness of this creature that is now missing into this husk stone. And
what did this creature look like?
I describe it to him.
Yeah.
It was tentacly and gross.
No, it's like a whale, right?
It's like a whale with tentacles.
It was like
right?
the size of a whale.
Yeah. All of these things.
With the face of
It was some enormous combo of seafood.
It had the face of a lion?
Yeah.
No.
No, we're getting
No, it did not.
confused now.
The lion had a face
The
of a
lion
lion.
was a lion.
All right,
I'm lying.
I will do some digging on creatures of that description. See if I can come up with anything of use. I might have it myself, or at least I'll check the archive. The stone seemed very interested to speak to you again. If you would wish to do that with us in company,
Do it.
we can set that up as well.
Do it.
Pilgrim kind of sighs and says, yes, I believe that would be best. As much as I may prefer this to be a private conversation, it, for my own safety, should probably not be so private.
Or you're gonna mind with it anyway.
So it will be private.
Well,
Private
you know
on
what?
display.
You know what, Pilgrim? Can you say everything out loud? Because I feel really left out when you mind link with people. Because you never mind link with me.
I just kind of look at Misery for a few seconds in silence, and then I nod silently, and then
I link with him and go,
oh no.
no!
I'm minding with everyone else. I say, I love you. Okay. I look back to Fairgrand. Say, can you bring the stone out, please?
Yes, that I will do, but first, if you don't mind, he pulls out his wand and starts to point it over towards you. I can, of course, protect you.
Look at him.
If you would allow me to do the spell that I... This purple light that's glowing around your head. And then he flicks his wand over his left shoulder, and this little portal of dark energy appears. And he reaches his hand in, plucks out the cloth around the stone, pushes it out. I should just unveil this now, and here we go. Okay, and then with the wand, kind of mage hands the cloth to them. Open up, and you can see the clearish, very faint purple then darkens rather quickly, and the stone that hovers above his hands then becomes filled with this blackish, dark purple smoke. The four vertical eyes zip out from non-existence and then hover around, peer over the room, and then lock onto Pilgrim. And in your voice, you hear, "We can do this alone." So, how do you respond to that?
We can do this right here. I say aloud to the stone.
Yeah!
Okay. I can see into your whole past while we are together. I can even get around the parts that are blocked off to you. And if you wish to discuss these things and learn of anything that is hidden, we would do this in private.
I'm afraid I do not trust your intentions. The last time we followed your recommendation, it almost ended in us all drowning in a lake, murdered by Chuloth.
Are you still talking out loud?
Yes.
Well, we could have just thrown the stone in the lake.
We briefly did, if you recall.
Yeah, and it
that's when the killing almost started.
Only because you wanted it back.
Okay, I'll look back to the stone. I believe we found your brother, or perhaps we found you and your brother was missing. But I believe we found your origin, where you were before you desecrated this sacred husk stone.
And yet, you and your people do the same to my home, and I can offer you the same. I could lead you to your brother.
I'm so shocked.
Yeah, Pilgrim kind of gasps and kind of takes a step back. And then, yeah, I mind link, and I say, how do you know about my brother?
Question to Stephen. I imagine you'd want to do all this with everyone at the table, but if you would prefer not to,
Yeah.
you and I could do this.
A mystery.
Wow. No, I mean, I'm fine doing it.
Great. Okay, cool.
Just gonna go like this.
I can see within your desires and in your mind the memories that are hidden and things you no longer know how to feel. I can also see that you cannot access these things. I'm willing to work in a way that you get what you want and I get what I want.
Mind linking, why should I trust you?
I think we have no reason to trust each other. We only have things to offer.
I am not convinced that allowing you to speak whatever you may say, true or false, about my past is worth risking and compromising my friends, which last time I put my party at great risk to aid you. I am not so sure I want to tread that ground again.
The only way I know to prove anything is to say the formless one that you left me with has lied to you about his name and who he is, and I have learned such things from when he tried to talk with me as well. So if you doubt my ability to know and see things that are deeper than what other people choose to reveal, then simply question the one that you handed me to.
What do you mean by formless one?
He changes the way that he appears as he wills. This form that you see before you is not who he really is.
We had a member of our party who had this same ability. That does not make him a nefarious or duplicitous individual.
Then why would he hide himself from who you are? Why would he hide himself from you?
All you have done is hide yourself from us.
I am trapped within a stone, but no other option. I need the rock.
So you are in this stone against your will.
Oh.
Here we go.
That is true.
Who put you in this stone?
These truths have been lost over time. Though, if I were to be face to face with this person again, I'm certain that I would recognize their feelings, their desires, their voice, and who they are.
If we brought you back to the chamber that I believe contained your body, would that help to restore some memory?
I believe so.
Yeah, I stop mind linking, and I just kind of say to the room, I think it would serve us well to return this stone to the chamber where we found the tubes and the mysterious floating creature. This stone offers much. It offers much that I would like to know, but I simply do not trust what it has to say just yet.
Were you mind linking again?
Yes, I'm very sorry. This stone mentioned my brother. I do not know what happened to my family. Much is blocked. I have remembered much over this last adventure of ours. I know that I fled my home. I know that there was an incident in the cave where I came from. And I know that there was a confrontation with my brother. Outside of that, I do not know what happened to him or the rest of my family back in the Kariza clan where I came from. This stone offers those answers, but this stone also almost had us killed, so I simply do not trust it at this time, much as I would like to know these answers. And that is all.
Cool.
You gotta decide what you want to do.
I have said what I want to do. I want to take this back to the chamber.
Guess we gotta decide for Code.
Might I point out something about taking it to the chamber? If you remember, there was another chamber within that cave that was busted open.
Yes.
So, by taking this back there, we're risking it reconnecting with its body and a second one busting open.
I believe it is my thought that the body contained within the tube is the body of, and I gesture to the stone.
As you gesture to it, Fairground is just kind of holding it. He's just like, he puts the cloth back over it.
I believe that this brother that it is referred to wanting to be reconnected with is the originated from the broken tube. I believe that his brother most likely resides in the lake somewhere, controlling these Chuloth.
Yes, I agree, which is why I say, is it a good idea to reunite this thing with its body to where it could bust out of the tube?
I will not make a final decision without the consensus of our party. So if we do not think it is worth the risk of bringing this stone and finding answers here, I am confident that the only way we do find answers is to return it to the chamber. Do we feel like that is worth it, or do we lock this stone away and move on with our lives?
Man, it just sounds like you want your brother back. And it sounds like this stone wants his brother back. So we just get the whole family reunited.
The stone is his brother.
I'm done with that. Yeah, maybe the stone that ends up being brother.
I'm also well aware that on our first adventure as a party, we lost a member of our party. Really, we lost two members of our party. And while we gained a member, we have still established
We've only known those people for like 5 more days on this.
our track record is not incredible. Perhaps we get the additional counsel of Rickledor when we go and pay our dues before we come to any final conclusions about what we do next. Yes?
I don't think we should talk to Urkeldar about the stone. It has nothing to do with what he has to do with.
We should find out if Rickledar has any other things for us to do first.
What I would like to add to this conundrum
Shut up, Fairgrand!
is that
Did you actually say
Yeah,
that?
I said that.
Just kidding, bro.
Fairgrin just ignores it.
We're gonna vaporize it. What I would like to add to this conundrum is not knowing what this creature is capable of if reunited with its body in the tube. If I can figure out what that is, I have the day still. Could close up shop and head to the archive. Discretion seems important to some of your group, though this is getting to a level where those who commit their lives to the protection of those in populace, their resources would be very useful in thwarting whatever this creature desires to do to populace. However, we could start small, and if by the end of this day I could learn what this creature might be capable of, if anyone like it has been seen or found before, that may shift how dire our response and unifying this thing, whatever we're doing there, that might change our thoughts.
We also don't know how long it is until this stone is mist. We don't know how long will go by until the stone is mist.
Mist.
It turns to mist.
Its owner
Where it
is
came from.
confused.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
Oh.
you're talking about Munkin.
Yes, but I don't know if Farragut knew that. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't.
I was being.
I didn't say that out loud.
Okay.
I said that
Yeah, you
as
did clarify that.
yeah, I was clarifying that, not saying it.
how big is this tube that holds this body? Can we bring it back here?
No,
big.
It seemed very large and immovable.
it's the size of a whale.
Well,
We didn't think about that.
Wow.
Fairground, if you are willing to close up shop to go to the archives, would you be willing to close up shop to join us in a spooky laboratory in the woods?
I would love the opportunity to not risk my life and continue this wonderful business, hearing how dreadful your trip was that way. And his eyes audibly go think, think, think.
he turns into a cartoon.
Tulu says, I vote we let Fairgrant go do his research and we, go talk to Urkaldor, study some spells, just hypothetically.
Yeah. If Farragut wants to help us for no reason at all, then he can help us.
That's a really good point. Fairgrant, super respectfully, what's your deal?
I wanted to.
Joey.
Are you good?
It was empty.
Okay.
Joey's drunk.
I wanted to ask the same thing.
I could run the brass star here and create wonderful enchanted items safely and peacefully, far away from dangers, deeply within the center of this wonderfully protected city.
Tulu's sitting cross-legged on the chair with, I'm assuming if there's tea.
Would you like there to be tea? Oh, there was tea last time.
I think there was
Yeah.
tea.
Of course, yes.
So she has 2 teacups balanced on each knee for
Yeah.
no reason.
Yeah.
And she's heating them with her magic. And she says, but you're gonna close shop to take a day off your very valuable work to research for us? I mean, don't get me wrong, thank you. But are you sure we're not disrupting your business too much?
And please, don't get me wrong, I do love all of you, but the deal that Urkaldar and I made also allows me some freedom to know that we were in business together for quite some time. So anything that helps you, helps me, helps Urkaldar, we're all in good here. And I'd like you all to stay alive.
We'll do that.
Does it seem like he's being truthful or?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and make a little insight check there.
I have a question.
Perception check, or whatever.
I have a question while she's doing that.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear back from your friend?
Oh, yes. Give Dan 1 second.
One.
Do you remember her name right now?
Rena?
What?
Give me 1 second. I need just a reminder right now.
The woman that knows of your calabash or whatever.
Remy.
Yeah, Remy, thank you.
I just want to know why Pilgrim wasn't concerned at the fact that, what was your name again? Farragut?
Yeah.
Might be shapeshifted into something else.
Oh, I was gonna ask about it in a subtle way.
I don't think we knew.
We
Right,
none of us
right,
did.
yeah.
You shapeshifted?
No! Dan shifted into Fairgrand for this conversation. No, the stone told Pilgrim that Fairgrand is a shapeshifter. In asking about Remy, his face gets very sad. And he looks very just stoic as he makes eye contact with you and just says, she has not responded to any messages that I have sent out, and a little bit of hope. Maybe she is not on this plane. Perhaps her travels have taken her somewhere else, but I've not heard response to any of my incessant messages at sporadic times of day to try to catch her. No.
Sorry.
13.
Okay. And this was just like how genuine he was with, like, being friendly with you all.
Does he want us to stay alive?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Specifically that
Scale
one.
of 1 to 20.
The whole work through of enjoying y'all's company and liking you all, and the deal with Fairgrand, and this work that you all are doing, like all of this he seems invested in, both because he's a business owner and as you all have brought this information. He seems kind of delighted to be kind of pulled into this from a safe distance, as he's made very clear, but to be an asset to it nonetheless.
Just looking at him, there's no when Cicero would transform, there's nothing to indicate that this is a changing, like a person that changed their form.
Correct.
Apart from his sight.
You've studied some skulls.
Yeah. I mean, I know when it's Cicero.
Right.
But this guy doesn't have Cicero's skull under his skin, as far as
Not that you can see right now.
Plot twist. Fairgrand's been Cicero the whole time.
I will just, at the risk of a weird, awkward silence, I'm going to mind link briefly with Fairgrand.
Yes.
And just say, the stone called you Formless One. Why would it do that?
Is the sound that you hear back?
This is
and just to you, perhaps maybe we could unpack the motives and information that this stone has in somewhere more protected and delicate than spreading that about.
I would be happy to. If there's a time we can privately chat, just let me know.
Okay. And his eyes just go wide as he just...
Dum-da-dum-da-dum.
So, I will head to the archive and...
Fairbrand, is it alright if I keep this stone?
Don't you have... Wait, no.
The one around your neck.
It is yours. Yes, Yes, you may keep it.
I understand the risk that comes with keeping it. However, it seems that this, whether I like it or not, this stone and I have a sort of relationship now that allows me to communicate with it in such a way that others are unable.
I just ask, and I ask politely, with no ability to sway this group in any way or power. Should you choose to do anything with it, change your path, or make any definitive notion of your plans to resolve or aid whatever you wish to do, could you keep me in the loop?
Happily.
Okay.
Loopy doopy.
Tuli's gonna say, well, it sounds like y'all are probably all dying to go talk to Rickeldar. Master Fairgrand, I have a book to return to the archive.
Okay.
Do you mind if I accompany you? And
Sure.
she kind of spins the saucers onto the table.
Sure, that would be great.
Says, and then kind of stands up and looks at everyone. Also, I don't really want Ripaldar to know about this. And like gestures to the ring.
Are you not coming?
No, she's gonna go. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Unless you want me to. Okay. Tuli says, oh. Okay. Expected y'all to fight a little bit.
Cool. I think, are we heading out?
See you, fairy. Can I call you fairy?
Please don't.
Bye, fairy. All right, let's go.
You can call me Grand.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
All right. Pilgrim bows and makes his way out.
Okay.
I do the same.
Splitting off then, we'll do the shorter trip with Tuli and Varagrant heading over to the archive. It's a long walk from where he is. I mean, enough like 7 to 10 minutes to head to the further south part of town. Anything that you would be wanting to kind of bring up on a one-on-one with Varagrant?
Tuli's gonna say, Master Fairground. She's trying to put her fingers together, but she has so many like papers and books and stuff that she can barely put them together around. She insists on carrying them in front of her for some reason. And so she's trying to go like this, but she says, Master Fairground, you seem to be very knowledgeable about the people of the city. Do you have any recommendations on places that I should look for, well, first of all, do you know anyone in this town who mixes the martial arts with the magical arts? I'm looking for a mentor, so to speak.
There isn't much for that gruddy little combat style other than the
I'm sorry, what
those that choose to be face to face with their foe.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Other than the guards and wardens that train for protection of the city, I struggle to call to mind anyone that particularly works hard in that area.
Well, if you think of anyone,
You'll be the first to know.
that'd be great. That's all she wants.
I should also note, actually, as we're doing some of the gold tracking and stuff like that, that not only there was a discount that y'all get worked into your contract too. So when you I already factored that into the magical items, but when you buy paper and ink through Varagrant, it should be cheaper than at cost of what you need.
Okay.
And so how much you bought? 100 and
I bought 100 for Conundrums, 150 for Polymorph, so 250.
250. Okay, that'll actually get knocked down to 200.
Okay.
So y'all have an extra 50 gold back. That is.
So we have
Let's spend it on
200
people.
gold left. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That you guys are taking to Ripaldar. We never figured out what we owe him.
Mhm.
Of,
120.
Oh, he'll tell
120?
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
120 was 40%.
Okay.
While y'all are walking, he also echoes back some questions to you.
Pour moi?
And do please, no, it's fine. I mean, no judgment, but I could not help but notice in our first interaction that, well, you're not from Canvas.
That's true.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. So, just wanted to ask, where are you from?
Well, that is an excellent question to which I definitely know the answer. And I'm so glad that you asked. And
If you just need the word, I can give you the
that
word.
would be great.
Apori.
Apori. Well, sir. Tuli's kind of striding along. Like, maybe she's walking too fast, like has no concept of what's a normal pace for someone that you're walking with. But she's striding along and she says, well, I am from the plain of Apori. I'm from a city in Apori.
That one I can't call off the top of my head, but
Okay, well, she tells him.
yeah, fine.
Okay, sorry. I'll elaborate.
Chicago.
Yeah, I am not from this plain. I'm from Apori, from a city there. Are you familiar with the primordial plains?
I am when it comes to weaving magic together, and
Oh, interesting.
yes.
Well, you may be interested to learn that I come from a very prestigious school of magic in a city that I already told you the name of, in Apori. And unfortunately, I was driven out of that city through some circumstances relating to family and to conflict at this school. But I hope to return. But to do that, I need to be as strong as I can. So that's kind of my goal. Anything else? Do you have any specific questions? It's very red there.
Well,
Do you know what hell is? It's kind of like that.
so that's exactly what I was gonna be asking you about
Picture
as well.
fire, and she kind of flips her hair a little bit, which is fiery.
Yeah.
Picture this, but not beautiful. Just fire everywhere.
Rezarlos is the name of the town. Rezaarls.
That's the one.
Yeah. Do you know what this means in relation to the people of Canvas and where you come from?
Well, supposedly, this is, a lot of the information was very carefully controlled. It was a little bit of a totalitarian state down there. But I did manage to find certain books, and it seemed to suggest that Canvas, at least, thinks that this is the plane where unwanted people are cast. I don't think that could possibly apply to me. So, that can't be right. But a lot of genasi can be found down there. Typically, fire genasi.
A multitude of, yes, all kinds of genasi, at least historically, there seem to have been sent there or called at home. Yes, in particular, at least according to the tales and histories and stories that people have collected in some of these books in the archive point to, was that the Great War between the gods occurred because Valessa had a vision for Campus, and Drenton, which I'm sure you're familiar with, being from Apori, yes, had different ideas of who belonged in Campus, and so then those that Valessa did not desire were sent off into another world. So
it's prejudice is what it is. Still walking.
I would agree with that. These gods seem quite petty, at least, with whatever seems to be true from what happened then. But
well, I don't know about this Anivia business then. Do we really want to bring the gods back? I'm just saying.
If you did strike up with Anivia at some point in this, she would be the one who you would take up that issue with, the whole dying thing.
Right.
Ever heard of it?
What are you gonna do?
But fascinating and a lot to crunch over, but at least, and he points up towards the archive that is now just on the opposite side of the edge of the trees from the purple-leaved garden that y'all were strolling through for that wonderful conversation. Let's dive in and see what we can find. I'm sure that between the two of us then reading, we can find some good information.
She kind of tries to balance the stuff to get one arm free. I'll do a check if you want. She says, and then she does kind of a bow and goes, after you, and gestures towards the archive.
Great. So, to shorthand this, Fairground goes to the desk, claims citizenship to Populace, and earns his way into, actually, instead of Skypage Luna, the blonde and rather snooty gatekeeper of the archive, instead of her running around and fetching books for Fairground, he actually gives you both access to browse some books together. And so, if you would make an investigation check for me,
Okay.
Fairground is going to as well. I will say, Fairground needs your help. 16. Okay.
Whoa.
So you're able to grab the book, and there's this moment as you all are going through some shelves, and he's giving some leadership of I think I've come across a book like this before, one that just outlines some creatures and stories of creatures that have been collected by travelers. It has been edited by Munkin, and more so like filtered by his knowledge and expertise. If you come across it, let me know. And then eventually, after maybe like 30 minutes or so of looking through the shelves, you're able to find the book that matches that description and is listed to have been edited and kind of reconstructed by Munkin.
She yells across the library, Peregrine! Is this it?
He's got like 3 books in his hands, and then he sees what you have and just waves, and the cart just rolls up and he sets his books down. That's the thing, this is it. And then runs over to a candlelit desk, plops it open between the two of you, and you both can start studying and kind of looking through. Make another investigation check for me.
Okay. 10.
Okay. Fortunately, with the collection of what you and what Farragrand rolled, which I will say too, just for the sake of like the feelings of accomplishment, what's going on here. By himself, Farragrand would not have found this book, and he would not have found the correct page. But together, with you joining him on this, you are able to find, and this will be where we end the episode too. I will walk through some of these things. You get descriptions of a creature, of a character called Aboleth, Aboleth. I will speak in direct D&D terms of some mechanics that this creature has, but then also just some stories and the way that people have interacted with it start to come out from this. It has an armor class of 17, and its health ranges from 100 to 200, something like that. So good. In basic, though,
That's the way I like it.
That the people who have fought these things found that its hide is very thick and also very slimy, and so with that, just basically attacking it with any like physical stuff or spells and things like that, the hide itself is very resistant, and it has taken quite a lot of people to overpower something like this. Natural domain is the water. It swims very comfortably and fast, and it can move well on land too, just not that well. In addition to that, it can breathe air and water. And its home, its lair, places that it typically lives, is covered in some type of like mucus liquid or fluid. Also, some people have interacted with these things and they get inflicted with some type of disease. And when that happens, they actually can breathe water, but their skin becomes rather pale and translucent. Eventually that wears off. But also when they're in that state, this creature does have the ability to control minds, and does work very hard to both create its own army or enslave a lot of lesser creatures to it, and then also use its power to then get things to do its bidding.
So while they're in that state, they're mind controlled?
They can be, and it does have the ability to just control minds in general. Some seemingly magic abilities, and this is where the writing gets pretty thin. Not that the creature is magical or can cast spells, but some of its abilities either mirror spells or just itself, its powers are just so powerful it seems to be spell-like. Especially in the way that it like enslaves other things like that. The details of how a creature like this can compel telepathically is kind of beyond understanding.
D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
So, you and Farragrand stumble on this and start reading through also the physical description of a massively bluish-gray body, the vertical eyes, tentacles and fins that spray off of it, and the size description and all of this. A very large mouth that is completely surrounded by sharp, serrated teeth in a couple different rows. It is both physically intimidating, very powerful, and intellectually powerful. And in reading all of this, he just peers over to you and perhaps creating a second one of these things doesn't seem too fun.
Well, at least it doesn't have poisonous pustules.
Wow. Yeah.
Julie winks at the camera.
Great.
Everyone in the archive goes, Julie! Everyone laughs.
Who's that girl? It's Julie.
And that's where episode 25 will end.
Wow.